Hey there, Mike Barbanica, Mayor Pro Tem, City of Antioch. So hopefully you already saw part one of my video. This is follow-up part two on let's get serious about retaining cops in this city. It's for the safety of the city, for the safety of the officers, the community, everybody involved. Ask yourself again, and I said it in the last video, what do you really think response times are going to go to when you actually need a cop at your house for an emergency? We're dwindling down in our numbers. As I said in the last video, 2 were sworn in yesterday with San Jose PD, another one getting ready to leave to another Bay Area agency, 3 more in background somewhere else. Why? We're one of the highest paid agencies in Contra Costa County. It's not money. It's not money. Let's talk the next thing, military equipment. We had a vote on military equipment, and it was a 4-1 vote, and I'll go over who voted for what in just a minute. But that was banning military equipment from the police department and the chief acquiring military equipment. Now there's actually a new law in place on how it's regulated, which fine. But prior to, we had banned this on a 4-1 vote. All 4 council members, other than myself, voted against it. Mayor Thorpe voted against, or voted for the ban. Councilmember Wilson voted for the ban. Councilmember Torres Walker voted for the ban. Councilmember Orgachuk voted for the ban. I did not. Why? Because I realized that we're not talking about tanks and airplanes. What we're talking about is safety equipment, such as the armored vehicle recently used in the active shooter situation in Antioch. Recently used for that, so our officers didn't get killed as they had to go up to the property to put an end to this thing and try to resolve the issue. We're talking about, it's come up multiple times. That vehicle has come up multiple times. Do people, it's a sad world that we live in, that we have to use some of this equipment, but we want to make sure our officers go home safe, and we want to make sure our community is safe. The other thing I brought up during this vote was first aid kits. That's something else that they had gotten. Scopes for rifles. Now keep in mind, all of this is free, yet it was voted to be banned from our chief saying, hey, here is a piece of equipment that we could use. We could have even set it in place where we said, let the chief get it approved. Nope, we're banned. And that was brought up by the mayor in the last police oversight committee, that the Antioch City Council banned this. He's right. It was a 4-1 vote. I'm not advocating tanks rolling down Lone Tree Way, but I'm certainly not advocating putting officers at risk. Can you wonder why these officers are feeling, maybe this isn't the best place for me? SROs. I could go on and on and on about SROs, school resource officers. I spoke for the night that this came up, 40 minutes? This was approved by the previous city council, where 6 SROs were going to come in to the high schools and the junior high schools. I went out and interviewed all the principals and all of the officers. The claim was under this council, it was a 3-2 vote, and I'll get into the vote again in a minute, but the claim was this was going to be a pipeline into arresting people. It was a program designed, number one, for the safety of the kids, but number 2, to where hopefully that wouldn't have to occur and issues could be resolved prior to it even coming to that. What a great role model you could have had, somebody who is a coach, somebody who has done, some of these officers had been working with children in their churches, things like that, that wanted to go into these schools. Nope. Mayor Thorpe voted against it. Councilmember Wilson voted against it. Councilmember Torres Walker voted against it. I voted for it. Councilmember Ogerchuk voted for it. And I spoke again for, I think it was like 40 minutes that night about it. Wiped out. It done. That alleviated 6 positions. What message did that send to the community? What message did that send to the police department? What message did that send to the officers? 6 positions gone. DOJ was sending $750,000. Nope, money goes back. The school district was willing to put in, of the remaining balance, half of the remaining balance. And of course, the city was going to put in a chunk too. but we had the assistance, the payment assistance from 2 other agencies for 6 additional officers. Nope, gone. If we're serious about safety in this community, serious about supporting this, Mayor, put this back on the agenda. Let's get SROs into the schools. Let's allow children to go to school feeling as though they have relationships with local officers. You're talking about a national rhetoric that's actually causing this to occur. Then let's take the next step to make sure that we have positive, strong relationships with our youth and our officers in this community. You could put this back on the agenda at any time. I'm going to end the video at this. Stay tuned for part 3 of this. Don't be fooled by what you're hearing. Have a great day.